Have you endorsed the candidate in this election?
I haven't endorsed, like I'm not going to go out and say, I support this person, but if you ask me who I'm going to vote for, who I'm supporting.
Yes. Who are you voting for?
I'm voting for democracy.
And
that means I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Yeah, because I believe in democracy. And it's not because I'm a Democrat. It's not because Kamala Harris is a Democrat, although I think she is highly qualified and I think that she'd be a fantastic president. I'm voting for democracy.
When you hear the critics, Kamala's not really black. She locked up 1,500 black men for marijuana charges.
That's not true.
Not true. Exactly. She locked up 55 people.
Right.
Some of which I'm sure are black, some of which are not.
As I said, know who you're voting for and why you're voting for them, and that's why I do what I do. I'm sorry, go on.
Right. So you're voting for Kamala Harris, and I think that she's a great candidate as well.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when I talk to some of my friends, I hear, well, I don't think that America is ready for a black female president. And I feel that's nonsense. I feel that when the right candidate comes along, it doesn't really matter what that person is. Was America ready for the first black president when Obama came along? No. Mm-hmm. America, I think, was more racist back then, but the right person came along, he killed it, and then he swept it on a second term as well. Would you agree with me on this or no?
What do I think? I've never even thought about I haven't thought a second about a woman running the country. I actually think a woman can run the country better than a man. If you want to get shit done, you know what? You hire a woman. And I came from a family of women, and my mom got shit done. My mom was a breadwinner in the family. She came home every night. She cooked dinner. She did it in high heels. She looked good. She raised 3 kids, 4 once she was remarried. And she was a professional. Retired, I think, in 2012, ran, the section of the company that she was in charge of, and did it with ease, without without breaking a sweat. And and there have been lots of unqualified men, especially white men in society, who have fucked up the presidency and other jobs. And so, you know what? Let a woman have it. And by the way, I think the most qualified person to have run for president in recent history have been 2 women. One of them was Hillary Clinton, and the other one is Kamala Harris.
I wouldn't disagree with you on this in terms of their qualifications, but I just remember during the election with Hillary against Trump, I think there was a general feeling of antipathy when it came to Hillary.
Yeah.
And there was an actual excitement over Trump with his supporters. And I think that's ultimately what happened. I think that the Trump supporters came out in droves, brought all their friends. People were sort of lukewarm on Hillary, and probably a lot of them didn't vote. Otherwise, she would have won.
But I think there was also, listen, it goes deeper than that. I understand, yes, he got the most people out, but also there was, look, we talk about, Russian influence. There was a disinformation campaign about it.
There was a lot going on, yeah.
And there was also a lot of misogyny when it comes to Hillary Clinton. And there's a lot of sexism when it comes to, Hillary Clinton and any woman. I would hear people all the time saying, I just don't think a woman can run the country. And I'm like, you're an idiot. Of course a woman can run the country. And perhaps if women had been running the country, maybe we'd be better off right now.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
I know that I'm right. Who runs the household?
Women. Yeah, there you have it. Reparations. You said we finally have the technology to solve the complex problem of reparations, and doing it by the numbers would force us to embrace a history based on irrefutable facts. Mm. I agree on reparations as well. You've seen it happen lots of other times with other groups. But do you think you'll see reparations for Black Americans in your lifetime?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And I didn't used to think, look, I didn't think I'd see a Black president, right?
Right.
I didn't think I'd see a woman president. I didn't think I'd see, a con man become president. Seriously, I'm sure that people who lived before didn't think there'd ever be a man on the moon, or we'd ever get to space, or, there'd ever be a rover on Mars, or all of those things that happen. I didn't think that there would, ever one day be a pill that would keep people from getting HIV and AIDS. But here we are, right?
Here we are,
the world keeps moving and it progresses. So right now, we're at the forefront of this whole artificial intelligence, this AI thing. So all you got to do is feed AI into the system, feed it into the AI system. And I think it can figure out, where the money came from, the number of people who, worked as slaves and all those things. What big company reaped the benefits from slave labor, just like they do in a lawsuit. And you get compensation, pain and suffering. We're at a place now where the technology can figure it out. And so I think one day that artificial intelligence, or whatever it is that you want to call it, will be able to figure out how you give reparations to Black people, to descendants of slaves.
Yeah, and I remember in your book, you talked about how in the 1800s, the Bible was pushed on slaves, but it wasn't the Bible.
It was a slave Bible.
It was a slave Bible, which is about 10% of the actual Bible. Yeah. So all the stuff about slave revolts and everyone being created equal, that was all taken out.
Right.
And they had a special condensed version with just the information they wanted to push onto Black people. And I never knew that before.
Yeah. And then came Manifest Destiny.
Yes.
Which basically gave Christians, white male Christians in this country, dominion over all of America. Mm-hmm. Just because the Lord said so. So, yeah. So do I think, yes, I think it's time. And I think people are getting, so how do you know? I didn't do it, my grandfather. Yeah, but you've reaped the rewards and you reap the benefits of it.
I agree. I'm Jewish. I've been all through Israel, and I've seen what German reparations did in that country.
Right.
Like there's buildings, all the taxis are Mercedes. Like it was an actual concerted effort that actually built that country off of German reparations because of what they did. So I would be a hypocrite to say otherwise.
Yeah.